Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Papergoy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And it's the Hump Day Happy Hour Salute. And today we enjoyed Appleton's Jamaican rum.
You're making me crazy.
And you brought it over, and then you're like, what is this? What is this?
I don't know. There's been so many at this point. Can't keep track.
There you go. And we got a bunch of people here today, and pudding starting it out with
it's powerful puddings. Yeah, let's see. You want to go down a list? You want to see what puddings have?
Let's see what pudding says so we don't lose it.
All right, you got it.
So he got a different kind of insult. He got an insulting offer from a seller.
Wow.
That doesn't happen too often.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. And then 3% off, I think Michael had said.
Wow.
Kind of crazy there.
Yeah. Marvelous Michael's in the house like always.
There you go. The 3%. Doing the math for us so we didn't have to.
Yeah. Super See the Lights in the house. How's it going? The always lovely Lori's in the house. Awesome Art of Flippin's in the house.
We are getting the rambling story of the week about dogs today. That is
good.
True.
Good
there
for
you
us.
go.
Yeah.
Good for us. Exactly.
Awesome Antiquarian. How's it going? Marvelous Mr. Hot Wheels. The super delightful Don is in the house. Marvelous Michelle. And Juicy John.
All right, we'll start the show off as we generally do. How are sales out there? We are smack dab in the middle of the time where we make or break our year. Is your year made or broken?
Eesh. Well,
that's not a good
from what I'm hearing, eBay is just putrid fest. I mean, I think this is the worst month of the year for me. It's like crazy.
Wow.
It's an exaggeration, but it's pretty bad. It's
right.
It's down there with some of the worst months this year.
Boston's not a big college town. Anyhow.
Exactly. But, we got good stuff on there. We're not accepting the low offers. We're, being strict on the offers and, holding our own. But Amazon could be better. It's good. Sales are good there. If you compare it to any COVID year, we're definitely off 40, 50%. But from before COVID is probably, I would say, around the same.
Okay. How about everybody else out there? How are your sales? Just kind of wondering.
All right. JJ. Can I say JJ? I like JJ.
As far as I'm concerned,
you can think of JJ as Juicy John or John Jones. Either way, JJ works. Or Triple J, Juicy John Jones. Juicy, you tell me what you like.
Wow. Okay. I'll be back and forth this evening. Another auction I need tonight. Well, we win some stuff for us.
Moonlighting, I see.
Really
Juicy
good.
John, Juicy John.
Good.
All right, good for you. Juicy John. Sales are juicy.
Good
day.
That's good.
All right.
Sales have been much better lately. Having a lot of buyers from my areas to arrive prior to the holidays. Oh, very good.
Good for you. Yeah.
Very
good
good.
With that.
Puddings up 1% for the year, down 14% this. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, that's not too bad. I think we're down a lot more than that for the year.
I'm down 20%
yeah,
for the
down
year.
At least 20.
I'm down 20.
At least 20. Yep.
Sure. I've been running that.
Yeah.
Putrid with a capital P. Okay.
Yeah.
Considering the time of year, very putrid. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that considering
everyone's complaining.
Good until today. Yeah.
Triple J. It is. All right, Triple J. Triple J for Triple J.
Mediocre. Steady on some days, others slow as molasses. Yeah. Steady.
Right,
okay.
Good.
I'm not seeing anybody gangbusters this week, though. Seem to sell $300. Nothing next week. 300. Rinse, repeat. Yeah, nobody's gangbusters.
No, definitely not.
Given all over the place. Yep. And that's exactly, Troy. That's kind of where I was going to go with my sales. I have never seen it like this. I'm going to call it a roller coaster. I have 3 good days in a row. Then I have 2 bad days. Then I have 2 good days. And then I have 3 bad days. And there is no rhyme or reason. It's not like every Tuesday is good or every Saturday is bad. No. The weekends are good. 2 straight weeks, and then the following week it's bad.
Yeah, usually Sundays are bad for football. I'm going to blame it on football, but usually Sundays are pretty slow for me. For eBay, Amazon steadily, just because we're selling stuff for Christmas, which is great, but not enough of it.
Yeah, I mean, it really is like today was okay. Yesterday would have been putrid for the Christmas season. Yeah. The weekend was good. I cannot stay consistent at all. Yeah. There's no consistency this year. None at all. How about buys? Dawn has already jumped the gun there and telling us she's not buying right now, as she tells us she's moonlighting in an auction. But that's a whole other story. She's not buying like we're not buying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. Buys. I don't know what's going on. I know I'm in my area. I'm top searches for toys, for a toy dealer, toy buyer. But this week has been off the charts. 1980s toys like crazy. We've been buying anything you can think of: Star Wars, Transformers, GI Joes, He-Man, Thundercats, Hot Wheels. It's you name it. Anything from the 80s, we've been stockpiling. At least I would say over 10 deals, with good collection deals, like over $500 deals. At least 10 of them, all 80s toys.
Wow.
And the sad part is we're not even listing right now because they take longer. The loose stuff takes longer to list. My employees don't know a lot of the names of these characters, and it takes me more time to price them out, write down post-its with their names. So right now we're putting on a back burner and listing all the unopened stuff.
Wow. That's wow. Sunday, Monday, great. Tuesday, $42 today, back to normal. It's a roller coaster for sure. Yeah, that's. I've not seen it like this in prior years. Certainly not to this. I'm going back 15, 20 years. I've not seen it like this through the Christmas season.
You think eBay would run some promotion for the sellers, save some money, or get some credit? Something crazy.
Yeah. Oh, okay,
nice.
Don. Okay.
Well, good luck.
Buys, I ended up going out to a one estate sale, just kind of on my way somewhere else. It looked like it could have some decent stuff there. Huge house.
You need one now.
I've never seen somebody have so much stuff and most of it, nearly all of it, junk. Like you have to work hard to get that much junk and not have it too much good. I ended up spending $6.50 at the sale for
all this buying nothing good ever, keeping it, selling it ahead of time.
No, I ended up. My day job took me to their neighbor, and I talked to their neighbor about it, and they both went into assisted living, and the family didn't really care for the stuff or want the stuff, so they pretty much everything they had was up for sale.
Wow. They
just accumulated a lot of stuff without a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
I've never really seen a house that size with that much stuff with so little, and it wasn't. Okay, I've got some okay stuff over there.
All right.
I've got some okay
I'm
stuff.
looking around. I can't look around. Jeez.
Well, you come to my estate sale.
Well, all I know is if there's a World War III, we got some stuff we can barricade the whole building with.
When you come to my estate sale, you can heckle it. All right. Jeez. Hello, Linda.
How's it going? Lovely. Linda's in the house.
John was saying he's being very selective in what he's buying.
You have to be. Unfortunately, so am I, but I'm still getting a lot of good selections to be selective with.
Well, I'm trying not to buy a lot. Again, I spent $6.50 at the sale. So my day job had me out and about today, and I needed a couple of things from Walmart. So I ran over to Walmart to buy milk and things like that. And I checked out of the store, and he was walking, leaving the store. All of a sudden I hear, Dave, guy in line that I've dealt with before. I got a whole bunch of books for you. I lost your card. Do you have a card with you?
Did you say it's paper going to you?
I did not. No. But it gave him my card. But it just goes to show that on a random Wednesday morning, just walking around, people have dealt with me before and call my name and need my card. So I don't think my attempts to not buy next year are going to go very well.
No,
given that at this point the feelers are out in too many places.
Part of the problem is I get multiple people, one out of state and one local, where they found me for toys. All right. And then the one out of state sold me 2,000 adult magazines, but they have toy collection, record collection, and comics. Mm-hmm. So they're going to itemize all that stuff. I bought the adult stuff already. They mailed them to me. The local guy, less the adult stuff, he's got the same stuff. He's been selling me old GI Joes, Transformers, Star Wars. But then his father had sports cards from the 50s and 60s, comic books, record albums, rock albums. So it's like, one thing leads to another. Before you know it, it's a whole house of stuff. It's not just 1,000 magazines.
Area,
So I love it. It's great, but I can't see this stopping anytime soon.
Which could be a problem.
Well,
a couple of other things over here. Using my eBay report, sold 50 items the last week. Got paid for whatever through the eBay report. 26 out of those 50 were promoted. So we're up to, I think, 52% of the sales last week were promoted. I think the first week I kept track, it was, I think, 17 out of 54 or something.
But you almost have to do it, though, regardless if it's 10% or 80%. I mean, without it, you may not make half those sales.
Yeah, it was 50%. It was over half of them that were promoted there.
Yeah, I'm sure mine are in the same ballpark.
And on the offers, I got 145 offers that I could make to buyers. and 50 of them were more than 2 years old. So eBay seems to be doing, and that seems to be what the standard is.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't look like they're screwing around with the search a lot right now. Things are just kind of coming up as they are. They're not pushing older items, not pushing newer items. It just seems to be kind of just the regular generic search kind of deal. Because obviously you're going to get more offers on the newer things. It's just the way it's going to happen. Nobody's buying, so I don't know what's going on. Sold one postcard on Vivs-Views, one book on Biblio,
nice,
and 6 items on Etsy. And before you say it, yes, I have to push Etsy next year. The last show of the year always is, what are we going to do for next year? So I don't want to let the cat out of the bag.
Well, obviously, you're going to own Etsy. I mean, it's quite obvious. You know what you're doing.
But given that you see how many items I'm selling on Etsy every week nowadays, I'm thinking I've got to go on Etsy. 75% promoted. Okay, yep. On that. Yeah, I'm not getting a lot of sales from the offers, but I am keeping track of them. I'm still sending them out, and all it takes is 1 or 2 on there.
You know what's funny? Before you get into that, your numbers, like for the week, which we said 50 sales, and then your promoters are 150. That's about what I do each day. So if I'm 7 times your size, how many items you have listed?
20,000.
Yeah, I'm at about 200. So I mean, it's
10 times.
It's about relative. It's about the same, really, if you think about it.
Yeah. And then we did. We've mentioned before that we watch other sellers. There's one other seller that we watch regularly who sells the same type of stuff as I do. And usually he sells 35 to 45, maybe 50 items in a week. He sold 16 last week.
And they were all cheap, right?
They were all cheap and 16 items during the middle of Christmas season. Now, granted, he sells the same stuff I sell, which isn't, it's not the hot item that people necessarily want for Christmas. Right. But that's brutal.
Yeah.
That's brutal to be selling a third of what you usually sell during the Christmas season. That's brutal. And it's not like he sells swimming trunks or something.
Right.
He's selling stuff that should still be selling. Kind of crazy. I'm thinking that the excuse of the week has to be last minute Christmas shopping, but not on eBay.
No, hardly anyone shopping on eBay for Christmas stuff. No.
So that's kind of crazy over there. Well, at least not the stuff we're selling.
Right.
Ditch Amazon and go full time Etsy.
We should. Yeah.
I'm going to mention Amazon for a minute over here. So we did last week's episode talking about how I don't feel I'm going to be selling on there in 2023. And a couple of my violations dropped off. I must have not looked at the dates right or something on them. They dropped off, and I'm no longer, what's the word? In peril.
At risk.
At risk. There you go. I like in peril.
I'm still at risk, though.
They should say in peril.
Yeah. Right,
Feel like a 1940s movie. Pauline, oh no, the train's coming. So I'm no longer at risk, and I'm thankful for that. And I've also noticed that because of my close call, I'm being very, very selective in what I'm listing on Amazon. I'm being very, very careful about what I'm listing. And I'm kind of going through, and you can't always tell which is the proper ASIN, but you can tell sometimes you can tell which one's not the proper one, just by the way somebody's listed it. And I'm not listing on anything that looks like a possibly sketchy ASIN.
Okay.
And I'm not listing things like Disney stuff, for example, because that's just too questionable. All of a sudden, Disney could have a thing on it. Yeah. So if it's stuff like that, I'm not even listing it there. I'm just saying I'm not even going to. Why poke the dog? Why take the chance on something or other like that? It'll sell on a different venue. So I'm being much more selective in what I'm listing over there. And I'll give you a perfect example of questionable ASINs. You know that they've gone and they've basically gated most CDs. Yeah. Well, people find workarounds where they'll list CDs and they'll list them under everything else, that area over there. I'm listing classical CDs because those are not gated. Right. But rock and roll CDs, things like that.
Is it worth taking a chance?
I'm not even the classical are not gated.
Right.
But exactly the rock and roll
$3 CDs.
Nope, exactly. Forget it. They're not, because there may be an ASIN that's on there, but somebody else created it to get around. Right. And I'm saying, nope, I'm not listing those there. I'm not. The classical are fine. Those are not gated, but they don't. care too much on the classical side of things.
Right.
But with the rock and roll stuff, not even going to try. Why?
Well, and anything new we get, like electronics or household goods and stuff, we don't even put them on Amazon anymore because half the time there's some type of copyright infringement, something going on there. So we just throw it on eBay, which is odd because we don't get the issues with the same products on eBay that we do on Amazon, but it is what it is.
Yeah, promoting might be cheaper for you in that. Now we do a combination. We do promote and we also send offers out on that over there. But no, I'm very, very happy about the Amazon stuff dropping off over there, and I'm being very, very careful. And I definitely am every single day. I'm deleting all of the things that sold. I got a bunch of potential high price there because I had $4 comics on. And that's way too much.
I get those. Too.
I just delete them.
Yeah,
I just delete them. I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm not going to play with them. Just delete them. Get them out of the database. I don't want that big, there's like a circle with an X through it that says potential high pricing. Right, good. It's not a pricing error anymore. It's gone.
It's gone. Right.
It's gone. I don't care.
It's a memory.
Basically. Boy, this is going to be a long one over here. Let me do a new thing that hopefully this is just a one-time segment. I call this segment, What Was eBay Thinking?
Now, if this ends up being a big hit, we're adding it into your repertoire, obviously, right?
Obviously. Well, if eBay screws things up.
On a weekly basis?
If eBay screws things up on a weekly, which I'm sure they will. I'm sure this is only going to be a one-time thing.
Okay.
So I was listing George and Barbara Bush best wishes 8x10 photos.
Okay.
You, Mr. Magazine, where would you list those at? What would the categories be? If you think about, and I know you don't do a lot of listings, so you may not know categories, but just generally speaking.
Historical, political
would be a good place, I would say.
And I don't listen, I still remember that.
How about photographs?
Yeah,
I mean, that would be a place over there as well.
Yeah, why not?
So George and Barbara Bush, best wishes 8x10 photos. There's a historical, political. You can list the president. You can list them in photos.
I guess if there's a birthday category, you can list them in there.
There you go. eBay suggested, their computer suggested, I list them in books and magazines, books, clothing, shoes, and accessories, men's clothing, shirts, casual button-down shirts.
Oh, good.
Or clothing, shoes, and accessories, women's clothing, tops.
I thought it was going to be like theme parks, Busch Gardens.
No, didn't even get that. No, they want me to list this George and Barbara Bush photo in casual button-down shirts.
Wow,
What was eBay thinking?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, very good.
Oh, Lucky Lee's in the house. How's it going?
So what were they thinking? And the programmers that did that also programmed eBay search. I'm just throwing it out there. All right, now we're going to head into glitch of the week. And believe it or not, that was not the glitch of the week. So I was buying supplies on eBay using the $million.peddlers subscription discount. You get the little bit of money off on your buys.
Sure.
Using PayPal to pay. Get a note. There's a problem with your order. See email. I'm like, okay. So I keep refreshing email, and no email ever comes through.
Nice.
Then I go on the order. It says processing. Then I get notification that the PayPal payment went through and they're shipping it out.
Oh, good for you.
I'm going, what is this problem with the order?
Nice.
But imagine if that was something that I needed that right away. And here I am. I go buy a second one. I put it on a credit card. And the first one goes through. Who knows what could happen over there.
I can see me having you do that for me. You better get another one. Just in case we need a backup.
That happens all the time, Mr. Hot Wheels. They moved it around on me again. They're in the seller hub. They did indeed do that. I actually get a glitch of the week this week. Have you ever sold Leatherneck magazine?
Yes.
Magazine for the Marines?
Mm-hmm.
So a guy bought one, and apparently the January 1944 and the February 1944 have similar covers on them.
Okay. This is eBay we're talking about.
On eBay,
okay.
Yep. So a gentleman bought one. I sent it to him. I get a pretty nasty comment from him. I ordered the January 1944. You sent the February 1944. I've already got that one. Do you have the other one? What's going on? That kind of comment.
Yeah.
And I respond back, I'm really sorry. And I checked. I go, I did send the wrong one out. I said, I'm really sorry. I do have the right one right here. I said, I put it on the top of the box, put in a return on the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And so he did that. I said, I can relist the January one. Right. I said, I can relist it now and you can buy it. Or We can wait for the return. As soon as the return comes in, then I will relist the other one.
Right.
However you want to end up doing that, I'm fine with it. I don't want you necessarily at the money. He goes, well, just relist it. I'll buy it. I said, okay. So I relisted it. A couple hours later, the return was closed. He goes, yeah, I looked at it. The one you sent me is in better condition than the one I had for February. So I kept that.
Okay.
So I ended up making a sale. I gave him a $5 courtesy refund. I said, I got to refund you something or other because, you've been very good to deal with through this whole thing.
Yeah.
So there's how you goose sales. Send the wrong thing out and hope they buy it.
Well, we do that a lot. So I'm going to take you up on that offer.
That is very true, Troy. That is very, very true. Yeah, there you go. That's how you do it. A couple of times listing, and I don't use the video feature on eBay. But the video feature on eBay was not offered as an option when I was listing. It had all the, add all your photos, but there was not the video spot there. And about 2 or 3 times that dropped out and was not available. I don't know anybody that uses the video, but you couldn't do that as well. Sellbrite had a nice glitch overnight. They said, oh, we're fixing things 1 hour changes. It took 7 hours for them to fix this 1 hour fix.
Thank God I don't use them anymore.
But the winner this week of Glitch of the Week is everyone's favorite site, Mr. Magazine's absolute favorite site, Whatnot.
Shocking.
So I had the book bazaar and was all set up for it. And I was even proactive.
This is the one you called me before you were up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a book bazaar. I was proactive. A few hours before it, I got rid of the app, reloaded the app. That way I'm up to date, got everything up to date. No problems whatsoever. Thing starts, I'm able to go into the other people's stream, talk to them, go and get mine started, do my little spiel at the front. I'm paper guy, and do all that kind of stuff. Go into my catalog, and it circles, and it circles, and it circles, and I cannot get my catalog. Cannot get my pre-bids, cannot get any of my items, cannot do anything.
Is it Wi-Fi or anything? Is it like weak Wi-Fi signal or anything like that?
I don't think so. No, I don't think
curious.
So I backed out, lost the auction, lost all my pre-bids,
Oh my God.
had to run over. Meanwhile, this is the book bazaar. There's lots of people
And
that
they're
are coming
waiting
there.
for you because there's someone up after you. So it was an hour per.
So I run over to the computer, and this is a time that random neighborhood kid wants to have a conversation. So I'm in the middle. I'm usually pretty even-tempered. I was a little less than even-tempered with random neighborhood kid because now's really not the time to talk about
Get
whether
out
you should
of
buy
here,
a
kid, you bother me. Get out of here.
Exactly. Now's not the time to talk about whether you should buy a goldfish. Leave me alone. Right. So I set another auction up, clone all the items forward, sprint back in there, get it started. Everything shows up. Great.
How long did that take you?
2 to 3 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Oh, I'm an old pro at starting my auctions again.
You're going to lose 10 minutes tops. Whatever.
So I run in, do my whole spiel again, lost on my pre-bids, get through to item like 12. It's frozen. It won't load. Nothing will work whatsoever. I back out, end up backing out of the auction. I have to clone the entire auction and pull it forward again. So I ended up having 3 auctions during my 1 hour.
They should just call it Y.
So that was the winner of the week was Whatnot.
You're glutton for punishment.
I enjoyed the site.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds like a lot of fun.
It gives
a
us
lot of frustration yelling at family members. Yeah, it's super.
It gives us great stories.
Yeah.
Site changes. I did notice over on, and I thought this was kind of funny. Over on, I believe it was $1,000,000.peddlers, or maybe it was Vivs-Views, maybe it was both of them. You don't use the option when people make you offers to decline offers automatically, do you? Neither do I.
You usually do it. Well, you can do one. Let's say I want to do only certain ones. It's not all or nothing, right?
Yeah, you could, yeah. I've never used it in my life. Well, I went over and I was looking at a couple of items on, I believe, both Vivs-Views and $1,000,000.peddlers, and I'm asking $12 on the magazine. I'm auto declining offers under $1.14.
I don't blame you. They're going to be so insulted after they try $2 and you still decline it. Why was it auto declining? Now for $2 it's declining it.
And I was laughing because I said, I don't think I'm going to take a $1.15 offer on a $12 magazine. I would not have filled in that, but somehow or other that got filled in.
Wow.
So eBay is nice enough to fill it in. Now I should sue them and go, my entire business model was to accept $1.10 offers. Yeah. What did you do to me?
Well, my employee today was listing dinkies from our buddy, and I'm not a big fan of the offer and auction, but he put them up there by mistake, and me not knowing was taking offers, probably $50 for 40 for 35, which isn't bad. The good thing is it pays to Terapeak, because if he just put them up there not knowing, some of that could have been worth hundreds of dollars. But and I asked him, I go, you Terapeak, right? He goes, yeah, we're within like 10-20%.
Oh, okay.
So there's still fair offers that way. But I always get nervous. I don't like to leave money on the table, if it's unnecessary. But we're okay.
Oh, that's just what I need. I did reach out to
him. That's a good way to make more than $50.
I did reach out to Whatnot right after the auction to ask, because the other problem with that was if somebody bought something in the first auction, then they have to repay new shipping at the second auction. So they lose a shipping discount. It costs them a couple of more dollars doing it that way also. Right. So I reached out to Whatnot, and basically the answer I got was, the buyers have to reach out to us. Like,
did you tell them you don't like me? You really don't like me.
That's exactly what I said. Yes, that was my Oscar speech. And I want to apologize to everybody. Last week, we forgot, Local Mike is probably really angry at me. We forgot item of the week. And Mr. Magazine was really angry with me because he schlepped this all the way over here. I had to carry this item over.
In the rain. Yeah.
In the rain, uphill both ways. And he brought it back this week. He was gracious enough to do so. So why don't you take it away, Mr. Magazine?
All right. So everyone knows, big Star Wars fan growing up. It was my favorite toys to play with. And they had something called the Creature Cantina set. It was a play set. It was exclusive from Sears only, and it had the blue snaggletooth in there. All right. And it was my favorite thing to play with. The blue snaggletooth I like those odd creatures and stuff. And now I think I have one open and one sealed, and the sealed one's like $3,000-$4,000. Well, Gentle Giant made a series of the 12-inch ones, the same line as Kenner. And so they have a couple hundred of these huge, the boxes are packaged huge. Mm-hmm. I bought my buddy's collection. He had like almost 100 of them. So I looked online for ones that fill the collection, and they made a Creature Cantina for these 12-inch figures, which is gigantic. So I bought it on eBay, and it's identical to what the 1970s looks like. I thought it was just super cool because you got the same kid from the 70s. There's a blue snaggletooth. And this is like 4 times the size of the little figures because you're dealing with 12-inch ones now. It was like $125. I paid for it on like a Tuesday at 3:00, and I got it the next day at 10 a.m. in the morning. It was someone from Rochester.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was super cool, but I just think it's kind of cool that they're bringing back the toys in larger form, and me being an old collector, bringing back memories and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool.
And things like this confuse me, and it's the same problem I have with a lot of the sports cards, because they're bringing back the old style of sports cards a lot of times. They'll like redo the 1972 stuff. They'll redo.
Yeah.
And I'll walk by
high numbers and rare short prints. Yeah.
And I'll walk by and I'll see something in somebody's case. What? Oh, I don't think 1972 had Miguel Cabrera. I don't think he was in 1972.
It's a cool concept, though. Yeah, very cool.
But to somebody like me that doesn't stay on top of all that stuff, like I'd see that. Oh, that's old. And it turns out it's brand new. Right, so I guess I got 4
times the size. I mean, if you set up the place, that's gigantic, but it's cool.
Right. So, I got to stay in my lane because I don't know that stuff. But that'll be what I'm going to do next year. Stay in my lane. All right, we're going to head on into insulting offer of the week.
Nice. Did I have many? I don't think I have very many.
Well, Mr. Magazine, you had a record up that you were asking 14.86 Australian dollars.
No, I didn't tell you this, but that's the 3rd time he made that same offer.
Okay, I knew he did. I knew you would send me it twice.
Okay.
He made an offer of $1 Australian dollar, and apparently he made the offer a second time and a third time, just in case Mr. Magazine missed it. We didn't miss it, and Mr. Magazine authorized the banhammer. And I want to shout out, I forgot who it was, somebody over in Auction Professor Don's feed on his live show last week was talking about using the banhammer, and I love that. I love that. It's sweeping the nation.
Very cool. Yeah.
One of these days we'll do merch and we'll have a banhammer t-shirt. There we go.
Good idea.
Don't steal that. We're stealing it from whoever said it in the feed, but don't steal it.
Get a banhammer tie.
Banhammer tie.
You can shape it like a hammer.
Might be like Warhammer.
Great ideas.
Banhammer. I had a $7 offer or a magazine, free shipping, $7 offer. I emailed the gentleman back. I declined the offer, and I said back, I said, I think you might have missed it. It does have free shipping. So he did up his offer to $8. Ban hammer.
Nice.
We ban hammered him.
He realized it costs $1 to ship it.
That was what I was thinking. I'm like, I don't think that's going to pay for shipping in any universe.
Supplies are free, I'm sure, too. So it makes it easy.
And then Mr. Magazine had a $275 Dolphins helmet. Nick Buonacati.
Yeah.
Was it large size?
It was full size, yeah.
Full size helmet, $275. The guy offered him $100 on that.
I should have countered and said, it's not the mini one, sir. It's the full size. You're basing your offer on mini.
But I win this week.
Nice.
I had a Cinderella book up. Cinderella Kissed a Fella. I wanted $300 on it. It's an old oversized book from the 1930s or 40s. Person offers $1. And then in there, they say, why is yours better than mine? They can get mine for $200. So he basically is trolling me, wanting to know why. So I took a look, and before I answered the gentleman, I did a little bit of research.
All right.
Because I like to do research.
Sure.
And the person that made me the $1 offer on the $300 book had 99.2% positive.
Wow.
So I declined their offer, but I put a little message in there, and I said, because when you have 100% positive, you can get higher prices because people know they're going to get better service.
Yeah. Perfect.
And then I declined his offer. And then I gave him the ban hammer because I don't have time for trolls. So he got the ban hammer also.
That's great.
For insulting offer, some little bit close enough to counter offer. There you go.
Yeah. I'm trying to do the counter. I'm probably picking up a few each week, but not too many.
It's hard to counter some of these, though.
Yeah.
Some of these are hard to counter.
Yeah.
Customer issues. Mr. Magazine had one. He had a record up. The gentleman was nice enough to comment to Mr. Magazine. This record looks like the S word. Why don't you just throw it away? So I answered back, if you buy it, we'll be happy to do that for you. Thank you.
Yeah, for free. I'd throw it away for free. And it wasn't that bad. It's just there was a sticker on the label.
Used to be 300. They've raised that. It's some crazy high number now.
Good.
It's some crazy high number now. Yeah.
We need that.
Like I said,
eBay knows, we need to ban more people. Sure.
$5, no matter if it's 8 or 25.
Yeah, I don't get that too much. I hate the halfers, the 50% offers. That really gets me going because they feel like anything you're selling on eBay, and I've said this before, you can sell it for half price. Like you could have a half price sale and still make money. They're pipe dreaming.
You don't hear that too often.
No.
About selling more higher price items versus lower, gave me the courage to deactivate best offers, and my store sales are actually up, not down. Oh, very good.
That's awesome.
Very good. Glad we could help somebody.
Yeah, Paperboy has the address. Just mail them the residual checks to
the residual. Exactly. 5,000. Okay, yeah. It used to be 300, nice. And I think Mr. Magazine was bumping up against that at one point.
I got to be in the 1,000 by now. It's crazy. We're kicking in high gear.
You got to do it, though. I mean, the guy's offering $1 Australian 3 times. I mean, come on.
Voracious Pharaoh's in the house. How's it going?
Welcome. The low ballers stopped countering, just decline. On average, their counters are almost $1 more the same offer. They lowered the previous.
No, it's not. I agree. Yep.
Although when they lower it, then you have the reason to use the ban hammer. So that's kind of fun. Exactly. That's fun.
Yep.
The ban hammer. There you go. Mr. Magazine, when I go in his store on Monday mornings, a lot of times I've got to do shipping for him. Go into stamps.com and I ship things out. He had an item that he was not able to print a label on Amazon, and it was an American order, which I'll give you a little secret. If you're using stamps and shipping American Amazon, just copy the address, paste it into the stamps, and 99 times out of 100, it will go through that way.
Wow. So much of that 1% one I couldn't get through yesterday.
Yeah, I must have been.
Someone was at the Bellagio. So it had, Bellagio room, blah, blah, blah. The guy's name and the date in the line. Okay. And then the address was long too because it was a Bellagio address. And you only have 40 letters. Okay. So I had to make some abbreviations where it's still obtained. They're still going to understand it, but we figured it out.
Yeah. This gentleman, the reason why Amazon wouldn't allow you to print it was it had the gentleman's name and the address and everything, the city and everything. General delivery. I did not know general delivery was still a thing. Do you know what general delivery is?
I didn't even know General's last name was Delivery.
Essentially, general delivery is, my job's taking me to Syracuse and I'm moving there, but I don't know where I'm moving. I don't know. So I just have it sent to a local post office there, general delivery. And then I can go into the post office. And the only reason I know that is because there was a black exploitation film from the 1970s called The Black Six. And Gene Washington was in it, Lombardi,
cool,
Fred Williamson, a bunch of other football players were in it. And one of the stars of that movie went to the post office and got his mail general delivery. That's the only reason I know about that. So I go, general delivery is still around?
That's scary because nowadays stuff can't get there when you have the specific exact address.
So you're sending it to a random post office and the guy just shows up and goes, wait, I'm here. Yeah. But it got me thinking, and I didn't do any research on this. I wonder if M-Bag is still around. Remember that?
Yeah.
I don't know how many people out there
actually use that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how many people out there remember M-Bag, and I think it is technically still around. It was always hard to use. The post office didn't like you using it.
Yeah.
But you got a big bag, and you could throw boxes or whatever, and it was a way to ship overseas cheap. I remember
it was like flat rate bag. I think it was one price, whatever you can put in the bag. Yeah.
I had gone to a local auction and I had bought car magazines, and I paid $1 for, hundreds of car magazines.
Yeah.
I had said, can you bring this up? And she brought it up, and I was the only person that bid, and I won it for $1. Somebody in Montreal won them all, and I got a couple of $100 out of them and M-bagged it up to them, put them all in boxes, put all the boxes inside a bag, brought it there, and you had to tighten the top, and you put the tag on over there and all that. And basically, more or less, my understanding was if they have room in a truck, it goes. If they don't, it waits till there's room in a truck, and they'd get it eventually. So M-Bag, check that one out. Blast from the past. There you go.
Triple J, I do that sometimes, but a lot of times it depends how I'm feeling. If I'm in a good mood and it's an expensive item, I may counter, because if it's $50, I might be able to get close to 40. But if you're talking about a $7, $8, $9, $10 magazine or something, I generally just say forget about it because I'm barely making money at that, So depends on what side of the bed I get up on.
There you go. I had a banner reseller kept lowballing multiple items either after I warned them to stop. Yeah, and again,
I hate the people that do like 30, 40 of them, because even to delete them is a waste of time.
Yeah. That very well could be, and they figure you could still sell and make money.
Right.
Unfortunately, we're not on a 3x strategy. No, unfortunately, that's the problem.
Definitely not. No.
50% off. I offered 15% off, and they took it. There are times. There are times. Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as negotiation, it depends. It depends upon what.
I guess it's something like if I have something like, say, I got a Darth Vader helmet and it's $500, and cost was $400. Don't offer me $250 like that. Those are the 50%ers I'm talking about. Like something in Target now that's $100 a Lego set, and they're offering you $50. Well, the cheapest you can get it for is $100. So those are the ones that really bother me.
Right. For e-counter with 60% off, the client saying a new offer, same as mine. Yeah.
True.
And those are the people that
the
I
whole
do
back and forth crap. Yeah.
Especially when they're just joking around. You want to accept and we'll update the buy it now price for 24 hours. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to make the deals with people. Yeah, M-Bag. Yeah, remember those though? Blast from the past. We're the only reseller. I guarantee you, we're the only reselling show talking about M-Bags.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
In general delivery. No other reselling show does it like we do it.
All we need is a DeLorean.
A couple of interesting other things. I saw where I guess the NFT craze is kind of not doing so well right now.
Well, it's shocking.
And I saw where there was a Bored Ape NFT that Justin Bieber bought. January, he paid $1.31 million for it.
These people and their money.
It's worth $74,382 right now. So that's a bit of a haircut to go from $1.3 million to $74,000.
I agree.
That's a bit of a haircut.
Okay, and the person buying it for $74,000 probably thinks, I got a great deal, but then I'm going to sell it for $8 in 5 years.
When it gets down to $1.380, I'm in.
Yeah. I think an M-Bag's worth more than that.
That's true, just as a collectible.
Yeah, exactly.
I was listing something under sports, other vintage sports publication. There's an item specific that you have to fill out. All right. And there are options
Okay.
on it. And I'm going to tell you the options. You tell me which one you would choose. Okay.
Sure.
So this is an old magazine.
Yep.
You have to fill this out. Used.
Is there any more options?
No.
Well, then used it is.
Why does that have to be an option? Why can't they just default? If you're going to give somebody one option, why make me click the radio button that says used? Just make it used.
Right.
Why make
Well, I'd be more mad if it was sealed and bagged and it was brand new. Then what? Then you're screwed. You can't list it. It's too good. You have to open the bag up and crinkle the mag. You actually go to the bathroom, read the magazine. Before you come out, it's rolled up and now it's used.
But these are where I want to yell at the programmers. When you have one option, don't make it an option. Just make it happen.
Right, exactly.
It's
Right.
not that hard.
Well, and it's obvious it's going to be used. You got a picture that's going to show that it's used, and no one's going to care if it's like new, hardly used, or it's used.
Yeah, and if there isn't an option for new, then it's used.
Right.
Don't make me fill it out. Why do I have to jump through hoops? Speaking of jumping through hoops, I've yet to hear back from DHL. Been just over a week. It's been 1 week since I talked to DHL about the thing down in Mexico that got lost. So I have to follow back up with them and say, I asked you a week ago about this. Open up customer service account.
Speaking of DHL,
Yes.
I had a guy that bought, 70 magazines from me. And he's overseas, and he bought 30 from other people and had them shipped to me. He was going to use his DHL number and all this, and he didn't want to pay the $200. He goes, I can get it done cheaper. Just waive the $200 off. It was like a $1,200 bill, so then he owed $1,000. And then a week went by, and he just contacted me and said, talk to DHL. They were going to come this Tuesday, yesterday. They told him right now, because it's Christmas, the price is doubled, to wait till January, and then it'll be back down. So now he's waiting until January to ship it out because they claim.
Did he pay?
No, he didn't pay.
I would tell him pay, and then you'll ship it out. You'll ship it out in January. Or ship
Oh,
it
yeah,
out
I'm
anytime he
not
wants.
shipping it until he pays me.
Well, no, but I
Yeah.
would tell him pay it because otherwise you might close the order on him or
Oh,
something.
no, it was offline on the website,
Okay.
so we're
Yep.
good, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
Wow.
go. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Yep.
That's
If you want to have some fun this week, especially in the middle of the Christmas season, go down to your local post office and ask them for an M bag.
Well, if they find one, it's got to be dusty or some homeless guy living in it in the back of the post office.
We use that site that I always forget about to bring our web interpret. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
To bring our items overseas to multiple eBay sites. They ended a whole bunch of items of mine. I don't know if they did for you or not. No explanation whatsoever. The only thing they all had in common was tools, but they were like a brochure for tools, catalog for tools, and all that. And so I'm wondering if their bot isn't thinking that they're tools, and you can't sell tools over there for whatever reason.
Crazy.
So those all got ended on me with no explanation at all.
Local Ron's in the house. How's it going? And smash that like button. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ron. Your listening feature does not auto-populate the required item specifics from your info typed in the title. Annoying. Yep. Super. More work for us. Couple of other quick things. So I had the trade card auction over on Mr. Magazine's favorite site, Whatnot. Ended up being another white glove auction. I want to thank all of my buyers. We sold all 63 lots that I put up. All of them sold. Very, very happy about that. I'm not going to have any more Whatnot or Facebook auctions this year. I'm under the Christmas crush. Mr. Magazine's seen the house. I've got to get the stuff cleared up over here. There's no room for a Christmas tree.
Good luck. How much do you think you're going to chip away at this? Seriously, there's going to be 100 boxes here.
Are you are Tony Robbins. I'll tell you right now, you can't do it. Give up. Oh, geez, Louise. You are no motivational speaker. I'm going to find someone in your family that can motivate me. Not you. Jeez.
Sorry. I'm hoping you don't list it and you sell it to me for pennies, and then I have it and I don't list it.
And I'd still make money selling to you for pennies. That's the crazy part about it.
Exactly.
But I want to thank everybody that came by the Facebook Whatnot auctions. I will be starting them again January 9th. I want to avoid the 2nd for my Facebook because that is, I don't know if you knew this or not, but New Year's Day is on Sunday. So the official holiday is Monday this year. I don't want to be on Monday with the holiday. I don't want to do a Whatnot on that Tuesday because people are all coming back from
Right.
vacation.
Yeah.
So I'm going to wait 1 week. So the 9th, I'm going to have an auction on Facebook. 10th, I'm going to have it over on Whatnot. 14th, I'm in Paperama over on Whatnot. So going to hit the ground running in 2023. Learned a lot, and I want to thank everybody that came by and shopped. And I want to thank Mr. Magazine for being gracious enough to trust me with the consigning of some stuff. And I think it worked out well for both of us.
Yeah. No complaints here.
There we go.
Super Stevens in the house. How's it going?
It's called Web Interpret. If you just do a search on Web Interpret, they do charge a fee, but it's a really low fee.
Yeah,
I think
low.
it's either $10 or $20 a month they charge just to do it. And they populate it across to 6 or 9 different eBay sites internationally. I know eBay UK is one, eBay France, and then if the things sell, of course, they take a percentage as well. But I just sold 4 magazines today to eBay Italy, as a matter of fact. There's a couple of downsides of it, and basically that's like if you want to invoice somebody, you have to do so on eBay Italy's site, which then you have to log into that. Luckily, all of the international sites are set up the same as the American site. So if you can navigate your way through the American site, despite the fact you can't read the language, you can navigate your way through the other sites. So, but yeah, it's called Web Interpret. Check it out. We're not sponsored, unfortunately. Would love to be sponsored.
That's sad when half your eBay sales are from Italy.
That is true. Through Web Interpret. That's actually true. Yeah. But he needs steel beams to keep the attic from collapsing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. I probably could use a Charlie Brown tree.
There you go. Couple of other real quick things, and we'll head into the main topic that Mr. Magazine has no idea what we're talking about today. I did a little, and I don't know why I was looking at this, but I was looking at old masters, which are the 1500s, 1600s, 1700s paintings from Europeans, essentially, is what they are.
Oh, I thought it was old golfers that died. But go ahead.
That would be, yes, they're playing the old masters up in heaven.
Exactly.
But old masters they used to be the rage. They used to be, that was what people, the fine people, the finest people, that's what they bought.
Right.
It's a niche market now, is what the art experts are saying. It was 4% of global art sales last year were old masters, which is incredibly low for what they are. And it's basically, and I think this is interesting because I'm kind of seeing a similar thing going on a lot in comic books. Obviously, comic books are much newer.
Yeah.
But it's basically, in the old masters, you've got a couple of people and a couple of their paintings. This is going for $33 million. This is going for $25 million. Almost what I would call in the comic market, they'd be keys.
Yeah.
They're going for crazy money.
Yeah.
And you got the other stuff by some of the lesser known artists.
Right.
Good luck to you. You paid $50,000 for it in 1987.
Yeah.
You're getting $18,000 for it
wow.
now. The market's gone out on the lesser collected people, the lesser collected one. And I thought that was really, really interesting because, again, we're not in the art world, but, when we were growing up, when we were growing up, those were the people that we knew and, things like that.
Right.
Like, the European masters and all that. Now it's just the fact that it's a niche market kind of stunned me a little bit. Now, Mr. Magazine's going to run out and buy Dutch masters.
Yeah.
Smoke a couple of.
I'm gonna go buy an energy drink. We're talking about the old art. I hope that wasn't our main topic. I'm gonna buy 2 energy drinks. Go ahead, sorry.
Gonna light up a stogie of Dutch masters. Come on, you stepped all over my joke. Jeez Louise.
Sorry.
Best eBay show on YouTube. Thank you very much.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, just keep plugging away. That's all you can do. We keep it real. Gonna head on into our main topic, and the main topic today is simply explain things. And it's all about communication. And the reason why we chose this as the main topic was Mr. Magazine got a email a while ago from a customer overseas. Envio un mensaje acerca de HyperX Cloud Flight Wireless 2.4 GHz surround sound gaming headset. Now, this was actually sold through Web Interpret on a foreign site. And the gentleman contacted Mr. Magazine. And Do you remember what the problem was? It was a HyperX Cloud Flight Wireless 2.4 gigahertz.
No, at first I didn't know because he was
Right,
speaking a
well,
different
leave
language.
leave that all. What ended up being the problem?
I didn't know if he didn't get it, but it was missing something, right? Was it missing something or wasn't?
I don't know.
I want to say it was missing a cord or something or an adapter, something like that.
Okay.
You know, maybe because he's overseas and needed a foreign adapter. I don't know.
Oh, that would make sense.
I think it was something like that, something you plug into the end or something. So I don't know if it actually came with it.
Probably didn't.
It probably didn't.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason I brought this up is Mr. Magazine. I only have part of the email, but Mr. Magazine said to the gentleman, I can't do anything until you explain what the problem is. I've asked you multiple times what's wrong, and I've yet to receive an answer. Please explain what's wrong so I can help. Thank you. And the gentleman replied, I said to you. I told you, basically. I told you. And
I mean, he may have told me like in email 1 in his foreign language, and now it's email 12. You know.
Well, but the point is, no, you didn't. Even if you did, even if you think that you did, if Mr. Magazine is asking, if I'm asking, if somebody is asking, you weren't able to explain it properly. Now
Right.
we'll give him the complete benefit of the doubt.
Well, and sometimes you lose emails. You know, if there's 20 emails going back and forth, you've got those little lines you got to click on. So I could have lost it, you know, and who knows.
But that is why one thing that I do in my day job regularly is I summarize and I look ahead on things, and there are certain numbers that I need to be able to find your case easily. So what I'll do is when I reply to you, I'll say, I'll put those numbers in. I'll do the research today on it, put them in my reply to you, and I'll say to you, I'm just putting these here because I'll need these in the future so I can look your case up more easily. Right. I'll summarize. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
This is what the issue is. This is how we're going to handle it. And I'll repeat myself 5 times in the email just to make sure there's understanding.
Right.
We shot a studio show before we went live over here, and we were talking about going out on house calls. And one thing that I always do is if I'm going on a house call to your place, before we hang up, I repeat to you, here is your address. Here is the date I'm coming. Here is the time. Here is your phone number. Just to make sure that we're all on the same page. Right. And so many people don't do that. They'll just send you a random email. You know, has the problem been solved yet? You're like, who is this?
Right.
What is this about? It happens on my day job. I get texts from people. Hey, I'm ready for the appointment. Okay, I have no context. I don't know who you are. You're not in my, I deal with you once a year. You're not in my save things. Now I do things like at that point, I search on their phone number and my cases and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But, I do everything I can not to say, who are you?
Right.
But if they just said, hey, this is John Smith and I'm already, great. That's going to help me considerably.
Right.
But so few people can communicate well. So I would suggest taking the extra time to do so, because it will save you a lot of grief and a lot of time in the long run. And a lot of times people hear what they want to hear. That's another
thing, like on a DVD site, and these guys are like, they need their item like that day. So they're like crazy. But anyways, they'll email me like, do you have tracking for this? And then they'll give me the title, and then their names change from their email. Like, I don't know your name. I don't know your item number or your address. I like, give me something to reference. Even eBay sometimes they're like, oh, what's the tracking on this item? And there's no item number. I go, give me something,
Well, or what's almost as bad is if they contact you off a different number.
Oh, remember, that's been done before. And then we refunded wrong items to other people. Yeah, it's crazy.
If you contact off the right, so I always make sure I do off the right one, or if I'm not off the right one for some reason, I say this is in reference to this item number. Right. This is, I've almost got a disclaimer at the front where I explain what this email is about. You are about to read an email that is about this item. And then I go on and describe it, because again, the more work that I put in early, the faster we can get the problem solved.
Right.
Whether I'm a buyer or a seller, just send them a YouTube video on how to set the product if you can't figure it out. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. In condition of Twitter and texting way of speaking, people today don't write long email messages and correspondence. That is very true. That is very, very true. And I definitely do. I'm old school, so I definitely do. And part of it is because of my day job as well. And I've been doing it a long time, so I do it that way. Yeah, exactly. If you have an issue and I ask you questions or follow up and you yell, I already told you, either I missed it or you didn't.
Right.
I mean, that's what it comes down to. Or if you did, you didn't explain it to me.
Yeah.
There is a gentleman at work, very nice gentleman, but a fault that he has is he understands things one way, and he's capable of explaining that to you very well that way. However, if you don't understand things the same way that he explains it,
Right.
he repeats himself and explains it to you 2-3 times and gets upset with you because you weren't able to understand it.
Right.
Now, by virtue of my having a field job where I deal with lots of different people face to face, I've learned that I'm going to talk to, again, I do audits for insurance. People know that. I'm going to talk to an accountant differently than I'm going to talk to somebody that hangs gutters, differently than I'm going to talk to an insurance agent,
Right.
differently than I'm going to talk to a restaurant owner, differently than I'm going to talk to a lawyer.
Mr. Magazine? Oh, yes. Right. Yep.
I'm going to talk to each one differently because I can use the jargon with the insurance guy because he'll understand exactly what I mean. And I don't have to do much explanation because he knows we're starting off at a different level because he understands it. But if I talked like that to somebody who was brand new, came here from another state, never dealt with New York State before, and I'm explaining, well, of course, the rating board has this. What? Huh? What? And that would be the wrong way to explain it to them.
Right.
But I'm not going to start at the kindergarten level with an insurance agent because he's going to go, you blathering idiot. I know all of that. So kind of know your audience as well. I think that makes a big difference as well as knowing your audience and how you speak to them. Where's Dawn? Yeah, she was here. She was watching her. She's counting her money.
Consigning, exactly.
She consigned stuff and she's counting her money. Oh, there she is. But and a perfect example I want to use about not everybody learns and understands the same way. And I know I've mentioned this before in a video way back when, but it's absolutely true. We were in a meeting at work, and there was a new feature available that you could do this and research this and blah, 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 blah. All this wonderful stuff that we don't do anymore with that. But anyway, it was a big thing when they rolled it out.
Right.
And one of the big bosses came in, and there was a packet like this. And he's explaining what this program can do. And he goes, I want you all to turn to page 4. And we all turned to page 4, and it was a bunch of pie graphs. And he's talking about these graphs. And look, you can tell this, you can tell this, you can tell this, and this, and this. And all of a sudden, one of my coworkers said, hey, page 5 is a bunch of tables. And we all turned to page 5, and everything was written out in numeric form. And we're like, oh, this is great. It can do this. It can do that. And meanwhile, the boss, because he's from a different department, is going, no, there's got the graphs. And we're like, graphs. Yeah, pretty. They're pretty. They're really pretty. Because we think analytically and look at numbers all day long. Yeah. That you could show me graphs all day long and it don't mean anything to me. You show me a table with numbers, I can put it together in 2 seconds. Yeah. You show him the table with numbers, he wants the graphs. Yeah. And that's where we would have been talking by each other. And that happens a lot with customers as well. You talk by each other because they have an understanding this way, you have an understanding that way. And you sell, it's happened to you any number of times. You sell, it happened to you the other day with Model Train. That the gentleman knew that it was supposed to have some piece or part in it.
No, he knew what. He knew it came separately. So I said, so there was a train. It's in a big train box, sealed from the 70s. Well, for whatever reason, they didn't put the train motor in this train. You had to buy the train motor separately, then put it into the engine. Well, we didn't know that. He knew that, but our listing said with engine. So for some other reason, he thought it was coming with the motor for the engine, even though it came with the engine only. And that was a big fiasco because he was in Canada and I had to pay the return shipping, but nightmare.
Right.
But he should have known. He should have asked me, hey, you have the second box. He should have known that would be 2 boxes for the set.
Yep. Exactly. Right. And that's where he knows a lot more than you, and he's hoping to.
I hope you ban-hammered him.
We ban-hammered him. He's not trying to scam you, but he's trying to get he thinks he's getting a great deal because,
Right,
and he
right.
didn't ask a common question because, again, you don't handle that all the time.
Right, exactly.
You know, if it's something or other that I don't handle all the time, obviously I want people to ask me the
Right,
questions.
unless you're,
I don't know
unless you're a expert trained dealer, why would anyone know that? You know,
Right,
why would they
exactly.
make a second box to put the motor inside the train in the other box? It's just crazy.
Yes, sometimes that happens on that there. I mean, worst case scenario, you just wait 4 days and relist it if you do accept the offer. That would be how I would think about that.
Yeah.
2 different accounts, same zip code, same item. Yeah, that's although I've had things before with the web interpret where I've had somebody offer me on the item, same person, and they make me a €15 offer on the Italian site and a $15 offer on the American site. And I'm thinking to myself, why do you want 2 copies of this? So I've had things like that happen. Oh, there you go. That's not losing money is making money. There you go. Put that on a t-shirt. But you know, and that's the whole thing you need to remember. People process things different ways, and people get angry sometimes and having to repeat themselves.
Yeah.
If I've explained it to you and you're telling me you didn't get it, I can find the old email where I explained it. I can copy and paste it, and I can say, "Oh, you must have lost it." You know, maybe I'll be a little snide, but I can copy and paste it and send it to you easily enough to resend it.
Right.
You know, verify you got this. This is what the issue is.
Yeah.
But again, too many people talk by each other instead of taking the time to set everything up, communicating, and making sure that everybody is on the same page all the way through. And if you're able to do that, you definitely will see. You may not see more sales, but you have a lot less frustration in your life. I think that might be the way. How about with employees? Have you had any issues with them? With your not communicating properly or them hearing something different?
Well,
how about that?
I think the problem is they choose to do things their way without telling us or saying if there's something that's different from what they're supposed to do. They don't ask. They just do it whatever way they see fit. We had an issue with one employee that, you know, and I don't want to act like I'm the boss and, iron fist and stuff, but I've been doing this a long time. We've seen it all, done it all. We've seen, how mistakes are made, what to do, what not to do, in my business, my warehouse. So, and again, it's my way that I feel is the best way. Well, we have codes for everything. The Victorian trade cards. So I have someone listing them now, and they're in binders, in sleeves, and then we number them, binder A through Z, whatever, and then number 1, 2, 3, and so forth. Well, this person's a librarian, and
do we decimal system you?
Well, they were this lister was listing 45 RPMs in boxes on her own. She started numbering the sleeves, which is great. So now you can put 300 in a box. You don't have to look through 300. You just go to, box 1 is number 42 record. It's got 42. Boom. So she was doing that no problem. Now with the Victorian trade cards, she doesn't know why we're putting codes on each one. Okay, and my manager is trying to talk to her. Well, it makes it quicker, it makes it easier. And then, this person makes a comment like, "Well, do you know how to read a book?" And he says, "Yes, I do know how. The books are numbered by pages, and it makes it easier if you have to go through a certain page and whatever." And and again, we've been doing this a long time. If this employee was going to pull them forever and never miss a day of work and work 80 hours a week and pulling these all the time, never get sick, there may not be an issue because this person may know where to find these things. However, this person's part-time, works 5 days a week or 4 days a week and takes days off. And then what? So it has to be something universal for every employee to know. And again, what is a big deal? You just put a number in the corner, you type the number in there and it matches up. And you're getting paid to do this, so it's not like you're doing it on the side. So, and again, there's a reason I want it done. I'm not asking you to paint the walls pink. I'm asking you to just put numbers in. It makes sense what I'm asking you to do if you think it through. So I deal with a lot of that. People listing records, and there's a variation. They don't ask, "Hey, should I list this?" They just list it upon themselves, and now you got a wrong listing. So things like that we got to deal with. Very frustrating.
A couple of people chiming in here, and then we'll head over to the Ramble story of the week. Where mine is the first buy on eBay. Yeah, yep. No, that's and that's good because being a long time seller, you understand their fears as well. And a lot of times those first-time buyers are people that find the site like through Google and all that kind of stuff. I think there's a way they can check out as a guest, if I remember right.
Cool.
They don't really have to go through all the hoops. Hopefully there is. I know there used to be. Hopefully there still is on that over there. But everybody started off with zero positives, obviously. Very shushing employees.
Yeah. Actually, this one's very vocal. Very vocal.
All right, we're going to head on into Rambling Story of the Day. And today is a dog story. And I may have told this one before, but I don't believe that I did.
Okay.
So many moons ago, I was out at the my day job. And I went to a gentleman's place who had a dog, a pit bull.
Nice.
That he rescued from the pound.
Nice. Good for him.
Yep. And apparently this pit bull had been abused by a guy. So I'm walking into this, and he's like, oh, I got a new dog. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I'm sitting there, and the dog is over in the kitchen. And the whole time that I'm there, I'm hearing the whole time. And I'm, again, he's way away in the kitchen, no problem whatsoever. So I get done with my job and I go to put my stuff away in my bag. And as I put it away, the dog sprints across, charges, and bites.
Oof.
And I literally felt the right on my hand, his mouth. And I moved my hand out of the way. And if I could move that fast all the time, I would. Usain Bolt would be looking at my back as I was running past him. So I'm like, oh, what the? And he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like, hey, no problem. I understand. But I was a little bit shaken. So, I get back to the car, go home, no problem at all. Next day, I had to go out in the farm country. And pretty much every farmer in the world has dogs. And I get out of the car and 2 dogs start walking up to me. And
big dogs?
Yeah,
Oh,
farmer
cool.
dogs, big
Cool.
farmer dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're wandering around the farmer property. They don't let chihuahuas wander around the property.
True,
Yeah, so 2 big dogs, and they must have sensed the fear on me because all of a sudden they're like, and I'm like, oh geez. I don't think I said geez, but I said, oh boy. Turned around, walked back to my car, closed the door. I said, I'm going to be seeing dogs all the time in this job.
Yeah.
I cannot be afraid of them. I cannot do my job if I'm afraid of them.
Yeah.
Opened the door, walked by him, knocked on the door, had no problem.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a case of mind over matter in those cases over there.
Dogs don't like ties either.
We did have another person in my position, another auditor, that actually got bitten so bad in her arm by a dog that she ended up needing surgery.
Oof.
And basically it was the reason she quit. She would show up and she would call from the car and say, if you have a dog, please put it away.
Yeah.
And she lasted about 3 months after. I mean, she was old enough to retire anyway,
Yeah.
but she lasted like 3 months after the dog bite because, again, it mauled her arm pretty good. And she was like, she just could not do the job after that whatsoever.
Jeez.
So, yeah, wonderful. So the state is hiring. If you're looking to become an auditor, reach out to me and I will give you the contact information.
We have one less employee in.
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked. 65 weeks, 2 days, but who's counting? Bring treats next time. Well, I did. It was my arm. I want to thank everybody. We had a really fun show tonight. Again, I will not be on Whatnot or Facebook until January 9th.
It's a shame. We're going to miss you.
You've got some.
We're going to miss the glitches of the week is what we're going to miss.
I'm sure eBay will step up its game. Hey, you've got a big thing going on Saturday.
I do. What's Saturday?
Oh, I thought you were.
What
I thought
am
you
I doing
were.
Saturday?
I thought you were celebrating your employees.
Oh, I am. Yes, we're having our holiday
How
lunch.
do I know what you're doing more than you know?
I was
what you're
thinking of
doing?
the JSA event, but yeah, which is January 2nd and 3rd. But yes, we're having our holiday luncheon for employees and some family members, and it's always a big spread. We do it at the warehouse and have some drinks, have some fun, and Paperboy will be there.
I will be making an appearance, and I will walk in and I will announce my appearance to everybody. I'm Paperboy. And if you could do me a favor and hit the like button, I definitely appreciate it. We'll see what the last couple of people said and what bit everyone to do. I just know I'm going to die trying to pet something I shouldn't. There you go. Bring the band hammer next episode.
We should get one made out of wood or something. It has the letters band on it. Yeah.
Or what I'll do is at the 4th of July festival next year, you can buy that big giant hammer.
Oh, yeah.
Try to find
Just
one
put
of
band in.
those.
Good.
Well, talking about that, Don, as they say, no woman's last words were ever, "Hey, everyone, watch this." A lot of guys have died that way. I don't think a woman's ever died. Watch this. All right, everyone, hit the like button, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.